Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be restoring and customizing a couple of old Matchbox. First I'll be tidying up and decommissioning an old Ford Galaxie Fire Chief's car, and to go with it I'm going to be restoring and customizing an old Caravan. So here's our Fire Chief's Galaxie. These were released from 1966 until 1971, and they did the Fire Chief's version and the police version. They seem to be a pretty common model. I bet a fair few people owned one of these. And this is the Caravan. These were produced from 1978 all the way through till 1999. And as far as I can tell, this is the original 1978 to 1980 version. I think it might have had an orange sticker down the bottom on the sides there. So let's get them off the turntable and take a closer look at them. We'll take a look at the Fire Chief's car first. Looking pretty worn there, maybe seen a few fires. Paint job's pretty chipped and grotty there. Missing the stickers on the sides, and that bonnet sticker's looking pretty rough. The light on top's pretty scuffed and worn, but it's still there, so that's something. You can see the base is not attached very well here. A loose rivet post. And our Caravan, this is looking even rougher. It's missing more paint. Windows are pretty scuffed and grotty looking. The tow hitch is broken. And it's missing the little tab for opening the door there. So the door's sort of jammed open. So I have to fix that up. Okay, we'll crack on and take them apart. Start by drilling out the posts on the Ford Galaxie. There's two of them, and then I can take off the base and take it all apart. The interior there, still got the tow hook. There's a little guy sitting inside it. And the windscreen, it's a bit broken up top, but luckily none of it's cracked. And it's still got the little blue light. That'd be quite a bonus if I was actually restoring this. So there's our Ford Galaxie body ready for paint stripping. Now I can move on to the Caravan. This only has the one post there. The interior with the broken tow hitch. Here's the door with the tab broken off the bottom. And finally that big windscreen section. That doesn't have any cracks in it. That's pretty good going. Just a little bit scuffed and grubby. And here's the Caravan casting ready for paint stripping. So it's off to the paint stripping shed and on with some paint stripper. There it is, melting all the paint off. You can see it all wrinkling up inside the door there. And here they are after I've rinsed off all the wrinkly paint with some water. So most of it gone. There's a few patches here and there. But these will be easily cleaned off with the wire brush on my Dremel. It also gets rid of all that oxidation all over the castings there. And here they are after burnishing, looking a lot cleaner and shinier. Next I'm going to drill and tap the posts so that I can put them back together with some little screws later on. That's the posts drilled and tapped. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to decommission this fire chief's car. So I'm going to be taking the light off the top. I'm going to start by sanding down this raised circle here. My sanding drum's a bit worn out here. I probably should have stuck a new one on. But it gets the job done. Then I move on to a needle file just to smooth out the last of it. That's looking okay. The raised area's gone. Now I'll move on and filler it. Start with a little bit of tape behind the hole there. Next I need some epoxy putty together, and then I use it to fill a little hole in the roof. There we go. Now I can leave that to cure. And here it is a short time later. It's pretty rock solid now. I start sanding it down with my Dremel, and then move on to the needle file again. Then it gets a sanding. Starting to look pretty smooth now. Finally, I smear a thin layer of Tamiya putty over it and allow this to cure. And once that was nice and hard, it was given a final sanding, and I think it ended up pretty smooth after that. There's a little rough area on the rear window frame here. I'll just try and file that a bit smoother. Right, now I can move on and paint the car. So I start out with some white primer. And I've decided to paint my Galaxie a nice deep blue-green. Here it is, a little bit of detailing on there. I think that looks really nice. Back to the Caravan. I gave this a coat of white primer. And then I painted it a nice cream. And I've decided to paint it one of my favourite combos, orange and cream. So I start out by masking off a stripe around. I'm using this block of foam here to block off the windows. And here it is after I've painted it orange and removed the masking. And there was no detailing to do on this really, so it was just finished with some gloss varnish. Now I could move on to the interiors. Here they are, they're looking pretty grubby, so the first thing was a wash in some hot water. You can see you can unfold the interior of the Galaxie there. That'll make it a bit easier for painting. So I started out with a coat of grey primer on this. I chose to paint the interior a nice deep blue, and then I detailed our little guy there. There he goes with a red and white jumper on and some blue jeans. And I've detailed the steering wheel there and the tow hitch. Now to fix the broken hitch on the front of the Caravan, start by using this drill bit here to keep the hole open, and then I built up around it with some epoxy putty. Here it is once it's cured. And I tidied it up with a needle file and some sandpaper. And here it is after I've finished tidying it up. And that's looking pretty good. So I moved on and gave all this a coat of grey primer. Note there's a little bit of damage near where the door would go there, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. Next I gave it a light coat of orange. And then it was given some detailing. Done the kitchen bench there and the seats. And finally I added a welcome mat and another mat in there. And I've painted the tow bar. And I just sealed it all with a coat of clear. Onto that broken door now. So you can see where the little tab should be so that you can open it. So I cut a new one out of some thick styrene sheet. I copied it off of another Caravan that I've got that wasn't broken. And that was glued on. Then I've hit it with some white primer here. And finally a coat of the cream that I painted the Caravan with. Then I sealed it with some clear. Hopefully it'll fit in fine. Moving on to the bases now. They're both in fine condition, but they're pretty grubby and oxidized. First of all, I'll take the wheels out, as I'm not going to be reusing any of these. These ones clip out from the plastic suspension here, so try not to break the little tabs that hold them in. There we go. And there's metal tabs holding in the wheels on the trailer, so I'm going to have to use my Dremel to cut part way through the axle, and then I can just bend it and it snaps and I can take them out. Next they're given a good old burnishing with the wire brush on my rotary tool. Clean off all that oxidation there. And this is how they came out. I'm actually just going to leave them as the buffed metal, as I think they look quite good. Onto the windscreens now. Here's the windscreen from the Galaxie. This is actually pretty scuffed and brittle, and it's broken there where the light was. So must have been trodden on a few times, I guess. But there's no cracks in the actual windscreen, which is good. I give it a going over with some 1200 grit sandpaper to get rid of the worst of the scuffing, and then I give it a good polish, being quite careful not to catch it and break it as it is fairly brittle. And here it is after polishing. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm not going to bother trying to fix the cracked bit on top as you don't really see it. So on to the Caravan window now. I did almost replace this with clear plastic, but then I decided to just keep the old window as it's got a bit of charm to it. This again was pretty scuffed. It was scuffed worse than the Galaxie window, but no cracks. So it was given a sanding and a polish, and this is how it came out. And that brings us finally to the wheels. Here are the original wheels from the Galaxie. These aren't in terrible condition, but I'm going to be replacing them with some nicer aftermarket ones. And I'll be using some Greenlight wheels here. These ones aren't too bad quality, I think. It's just one of the white rims is a bit wonky. And for the Caravan, I'm going to be replacing the old worn out wheels with these new Matchbox ones. So here we are. Here are all the parts of our Galaxie and our Caravan, refurbished, repainted and ready to go back together. It's quite a few parts lined up there. Anyway, while I reassemble those in the background, let's just take a moment to look back and be reminded of what we started with. Here's our worn looking old 1960s Fire Chief's Ford Galaxie with its scruffy old paint job, scuffed windows, and generally looking pretty worn. But I'm thinking maybe it's done its time fighting fires and it's ready to go on a holiday. And here it is after being decommissioned and made over. A little Ford Galaxie repainted in a nice deep greeny blue. See the window shined up there along with the base. And it's been detailed inside and out, including our little guy. Perhaps he's a retired fire chief going off for a caravan holiday. I'm really pleased with this. I think that colour really suits this car. It's nice to see it as something different than a fire chief's car. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you used to have one of these? Or maybe the police version, or maybe even your family had a real one when you were a kid. Or maybe you own one now. Who knows? You'd be quite lucky to own one now, I guess. We'll move on to the Caravan now. Here is it originally, looking very scruffy there, missing about a quarter of its paint. The door is broken, so it's jammed open. It's really grubby on the inside, scuffed windows and worn out wheels. I don't think anyone would really want to go for a holiday in this thing, so let's get it tidied up a bit. And here it is. Our finished, restored and customised Matchbox Caravan. The old worn out white paint job's gone and been replaced with a nice cream and orange. I always think this paint job really suits things like this. It's had the windows shined up and de-scuffed. It's had that broken door repaired so you can open and close it now. And it's been detailed on the inside, even though you have a bit of trouble seeing it. It's got some nice new wheels as well. And it's also had that broken tow hitch repaired so that the retired fire chief can hitch it onto his Galaxie and head off on a holiday. Thanks heaps to everyone for supporting the channel. Extra special thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters. If you'd like to join them, you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link in the description below. Thanks heaps for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you'd like to see more similar stuff, remember to subscribe and click the bell. Give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.